That's right. Something you don't hear a lot of on sports talk radio. A grown man or woman acknowledging that they made a mistake in either judgment or opinion or overall douchiness. And their thoughts, their opinions, their take on a matter clearly proven to be wrong. And they come in the next day because that's what we do. We try to build a relationship with the audience based on honesty and integrity. And I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, my partner, Evan Roberts. Good afternoon, Evan.
Hi. I apologize for ever believing Justin Verlander would actually beat his former team. I'm sorry for ever even suggesting that the Mets could put together, I don't know, a 2-game winning streak. Is that what you were looking for?
No.
Oh.
No. It's funny because I was actually watching the game when Bregman hit the 2-run home run against Verlander with a very, very big Met fan.
Endo.
Yeah.
Right down the middle.
There you go.
See you later.
But that's not the apology I was looking for.
Oh.
It is not. There's a different apology that should be put out there by you, of course. And that is your insistence that Victor Wembanyama was not going to throw out the first pitch yesterday. He not only did a New York City tour, went on the subway, threw out the first pitch, then he tried to drill a couple 9-year-olds in the face with a baseball.
That was my favorite part.
But Aaron Boone, by the way, in the dugout's going, what the F is he doing?
Yes.
And he threw out the first pitch and missed 30 feet wide left.
Yes. I want to apologize to Victor Wembanyama. He showed guts. He showed determination. He went to the freaking mound and attempted to throw out a first pitch at Yankee Stadium. I was a little hoodwinked because I saw the Yankees tweet he's delivering the first pitch, and I thought it was the cute way of saying he doesn't have the guts to actually try to throw the first pitch. He did. He failed miserably, and then he did something I think all of us would have done after we embarrassed ourselves with the first pitch.
And what is that, my friend?
We try to impress everybody by showing our guns off, by taking a baseball and throwing it as hard as we can into the stand.
And it's weird. Listen, obviously there's a cultural divide there, but he wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He thought he was being a nice guy by taking the ball and throwing it into the crowd for a fan to get. But when he threw that ball, to be fair, he threw her like a bullet.
Yes.
And damn near took off somebody's head.
He almost killed somebody.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're right. The reaction by Aaron Boone may have been the best one because Boone looked afraid.
I thought that was funny.
Scared.
My man Aaron Boone was like, what the hell is that guy doing?
Dude, I loved everything about that game last night because then you get Garrett Cole basically getting all pissed off.
Scott Service, right?
Throw one to the backstop because Kobayeo was kind of playing around with the clock. It was a fun night at Yankee Stadium, and you guys won. Congratulations.
Yeah, and a game in which, again, no offense, only scored the 3 runs, but you got Scott Sturvis wagging his finger at Cole wagging his finger back. And I thought the best part, I don't know, was it a 3-0 pitch when he threw it 10 feet up?
By the way, real quick, and I thought this was what was so fascinating about this. If you watched on TV, you got one story. If you listened on the radio, you got another story. And then after the game, we got another story. At the time, none of us thought he was wagging his finger at Scott Sturvis. We all thought he was wagging his finger at the batter
who kept messing around in the box,
who was playing around with the clock. Did nothing wrong.
I didn't know that. I thought my perspective, obviously, which is different than yours, is that he was giving the finger back to Service.
No.
That's what I thought.
Honestly, none of us, I don't think any of us knew about that until after the game because we're just assuming that the Kobayero at bat is what, because it was going on all night. So when they faced each other, I think it was the 3rd inning, the 6th inning, and eventually, whatever innings it was, he was playing around with that clock all night. Stepping out.
And by the way, after the game, he acknowledged it. He goes, look, clock works for both sides. I'm well within the rights to do it. I did it.
He did nothing wrong. And Garrett Cole was responding. What Garrett Cole was doing was saying, okay, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not getting on the mound till 8 seconds now. I'm not going to stand there waiting for you. When you're ready by 8 seconds, because he has to, then I'll climb on the mound. He looked pissed. They were both basically playing a cat-and-mouse game the entire night.
So when he threw that pitch 10 feet above everybody's head, after he shook off the catcher twice and purposely, obviously, that's his way of not hitting you but telling you, quit it.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with Service.
No.
Because that's not when he's wagging his finger.
Exactly. That's why none of us knew it was Scott Service because
till after the game. So I must have picked it up in a postgame.
Postgame, no doubt about it. And I get that.
Yeah.
So during the game, you could see Cole was pissed off for the 3 at-bats. It came to a head in his 3rd at-bat because on that 0-2 pitch, which we all have seen now, it's gone viral if you weren't watching, he throws the ball well over his head.
Like that was a pitch that Wembanyama could have hit.
Yeah, and
that's
by the way,
how I was.
I got to hand it to Garrett Cole. That's a classy dude because he could have buzzed his head, which would have scared the crap out of him and which would have caused everyone to say, oh, that's dangerous. How could he do that?
I think because they're nursing a small lead, he was like, I'm not risking putting the guy on base. Now the tying run comes up. I'm going to make my feelings known by throwing it 10 feet above everybody's head.
I think he was trying to not have a confrontation. He was trying to show you he was pissed off without buzzing his ear, so he puts it, 30 feet above his head.
Right.
Sometimes a high fastball can be a really effective pitch.
Change the eye level.
I got to tell you, Garrett Cole, that's my dude.
Right.
Garrett Cole, by the way, the other day when they had the Monday day off before the Subway Series,
I saw him.
Was on a boat by the Statue of Liberty with
Justin Verlander and the wives.
That's right.
Yeah, they went a little sightseeing. So Cole ends up getting him. He strikes him out eventually. Remember, he missed a couple of pitches, couple of sliders, lowered away. Strikes him out, I think his fastest fastball of the game. He walks off the mound wagging his finger. If you're watching TV, and I have no issue with the Yankee TV broadcast, they thought what we were all thinking is that he was wagging his finger at Caballero. On the radio, because I listen to the radio with the TV, Craig, for gems like this.
Yeah.
They thought Garrett Cole was waving his finger at the home plate umpire. And they did that for 2 innings. Cole's pissed at Dan Bellino. Boone's pissed at Dan Bellino. So on the radio, he's wagging it at the ump.
Yeah.
On TV, he's wagging it at the 9th place hitter. And then eventually we got the truth, which was it was Scott Service.
Well, more importantly than all that crap is the Yankees needed a win. They lost 4 games in a row after the sweep, of course, against the Red Sox, that doubleheader on Sunday, and they got a win they needed. Kind of end the losing streak, and that's what aces are supposed to do because, again, they didn't win the game because of their offense. They scored 3 runs last night, and they got the win because Garrett Cole, am I right, so they've not lost the game he started, right?
Yes, he has 1 loss.
It's 1 loss? Okay, got it. So 1 loss. He's absolutely in the running for Cy Young this year.
And he lost the Verlander game. And the Verlander game.
He's got 1 loss, but the team has 2 losses.
He's got 1. The team's got 2.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you. They needed it. Last night, you needed Garrett Cole at his peak. And what was it, 7 1/3?
He was
1
great.
run ball, pretty good.
And to your point about the offense not doing it, Anthony Rizzo take whatever he gets, and maybe yesterday's 3-hit game breaks him out of it. But his first hit was not a hit. It was a fly ball to right field that got dropped.
Well, it's like we were playing softball.
Yeah, and they called it a hit. And look, Rizzo deserves it because remember he hit that ball 410 feet in Boston where Duran made the great catch. But you're right. Like those 3 runs in the first 2 innings were sort of cheap. They didn't score many runs. That was Garrett Cole, who's one of the most consistent pitchers in this sport, putting his foot down after a loss, and that's what he normally does, and dominating the Yankees to victory.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done, and that's why I know you finally have come around on him. Good for you.
I have.
He has been worth.
Garrett Cole's the man.
He has been worth every dime.
And you know why, Evan, more than anything else, and I'm kind of stealing words out of your mouth over the last year or so, the best part about Garrett Cole, other than the obvious, which is the guy is lights out, a dominant pitcher, he pitches every 5 days.
Every 5 days.
While every other guy in America somehow on an IL or misses a start or like a guy like Kodai Senga needs 6 days, not to knock him, but here's a guy that goes out every 5 days and much more often than not gives you a solid ace outing.
Well, and
he's a Cy Young right now, is he not?
No, he's not. He's not the Cy Young.
Probably the Cy Young, though, right?
McClanahan's ahead of him, and Framber Valdez, who dominated the Mets, is ahead of him. But he's
probably the Cy Young, though.
He's not the Cy Young. But you know what? That's okay. Because what Garrett Cole does, like, you know who won the Cy Young last year in the National League by chance? I'll tell you if you don't know.
Of course.
Sandy Alcantara won the Cy Young.
Down in Florida.
All of a sudden this year, he sucks.
Yeah.
He pitched today. He got bombed. He's got a 5.5 ERA. Like, there are so many examples of guys having good year, a good couple of years.
Sure.
And then just losing it, whether they can't stay healthy, Julio Urias, Walker Buehler, or just being ineffective. Garrett Cole is both. He's effective and he pitches. And while he may not win the Cy Young this year, I don't think that's what you got him for. You got him for last night. You're on a losing streak. What does he do? He says, wrap your legs around me.
Yeah.
I'll get you out of the losing streak.
Yeah.
And that's what an ace does. And it was a brilliant performance last night. And even though I don't think anybody was wrong in that whole thing with Cole versus Caballero, I think everybody's just playing within the new rules. They're all kind of having fun with the clock. Cole didn't do anything wrong. Caballero didn't do anything wrong. The bottom line was Kerry Cole got the last laugh because he struck his ass out. He did his little Dikembe Mutombo finger wave, and he backed up his performance.
Meanwhile, the New York Mets with Justin Verlander on the mound could not put together consecutive wins, unfortunately, as they lose yesterday to the Houston Astros. And now it's a quick turnaround afternoon game, which I guess is getting started here any second, right?
Yeah.
2 o'clock, 2:15, 2:10, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
But look, he didn't lose the game just because of Justin Verlander giving up that home run. The offense, after dropping an 11th spot in game one, only had 4 hits last night.
Well, but you know what?
Right?
This is very rare I'm ever going to do this. I don't do this very often. They got beat by, if it's not Garrett Cole, it's Framber Valdez or Shane McClanahan as the best pitcher in baseball.
Right.
And that's who they got knocked down by
and
yesterday.
Valdez went, I think, 8. Did
Yes.
I see that right?
Yes, and the truth is, if the only way I thought going into last night, barring something crazy, you knock a good pitcher around, sure, it happens. They needed Verlander to just match him 0 for 0. And for the first 2 innings, it looked that way.
Right.
They were going to have to eke out, in my opinion, a 1-0, 2-1
So
victory.
let me ask you this question then.
Yes.
If the Mets win today and they take the series, you feel much better about the Mets?
No, I
They
feel
will win
very
a series against a good team?
I'd feel very happy about today. It would be nice to win a series. They don't do that very often, but would I now be convinced they're turning things around? No. They've got to do a lot for me and many other Met fans to believe.
Like
okay.
a 9 out of 10 kind of run?
Yeah, kind of.
Something like that. 2
So-
times through the rotation, win.
Yeah. Now, with that said, you go beat Christian Javier today with Tyler McGill on the mound and you win a series in Houston, I'll be happy.
It'd be a good
But-
start for sure.
Absolutely, but no, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all turning around.
Yeah.
They've got a lot to prove. They've got a lot of work to do, Craig, because they've created a big hole for themselves.
Well, you have a lot to prove, too, after next Friday. And I'm already feeling, it's funny how things change around here because I've been very blessed. A lot of people say very nice things, congrats and this and that, going to miss you. And then I recognize that here we are just, not even 24 full hours after the full announcement of Tiki replacing me and all the other changes at the radio station, and I'm already an outsider. I'm already on the outside looking in.
What does that mean? What have I not told
Today,
you?
the architect walked past my office, no acknowledgement of my presence.
You know who he
I had-
acknowledged? He
hang
acknowledged
on.
me, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure he did. Spike comes in today, talking to Evan about a photo shoot I know nothing about, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, I'm being left behind. All of a sudden, because I made a decision to leave, I see what's happening
But what
now.
do you want us to do?
Next week's going to be a very tough week for me because I'm just going to come to work like I normally do, and there's all these little conversations and happenings going on, and I'm not involved in any of them. The next big shoe to drop for me, and I'm waiting for it because I know it's coming,
What's that?
and I will not make a single move until they come to me.
Oh, when we take your office?
Yep.
Oh, that's coming.
Right? My office is an absolute pigsty, as it always has been. It's going to require a good 4 or 5 boxes to pack up, but I ain't packing a damn thing
Wait.
until somebody comes to me and says, look, we kind of need the office for Tiki
Well,
or
hold
for,
on a second.
for Sal or whomever.
So next Friday,
I ain't
which
leaving
is
with
your
my
last
stuff.
show,
Yeah.
you're not taking your stuff? You're just going to leave it there like you're a squatter?
I'm going to leave it there like, you never know. Now, I'm gonna be here once a week to do the Hello, my name
and
is
that
Craig
doesn't
show.
warrant the big office.
I see. That's where I differ with you. I think the big office is required for me to come here and catch my breath, mentally prepare, emotionally prepare.
You have an office at
to
Fox?
do that Saturday show. I do have an office at Fox.
All right, so there you go.
Yes.
Put all your stuff in that office. I'm
Yes.
sure it's big. I'm sure it's a huge office.
And it's not that big an
I'm
office.
sure it's a luxurious office,
I
a
have a couch.
luxurious office.
I have a couch.
And go put all your crap in there.
I got a little swing free going too.
I've already decided
Yeah.
who's getting your office.
Is that right?
Yeah, I already made a decision.
Why are you deciding that?
I feel like I get the right to decide what happens
No.
to my old partner's office.
You have a right to say, I want that office.
I don't want that office, no.
But I'm saying if you wanted it, yeah, it's yours.
So that office, I think, should be like a show office. So Tiki can sit in there.
Yeah.
Loogie can sit in there. Shawnee can sit in there.
How about this? Hold on.
I'm
Tommy,
keeping my office. I like my
do you
office.
think Tommy wants his own office and maybe graduate from the cubicle and have a place to keep all your producer type stuff?
I certainly think I deserve one. Al Dukes has an office. I don't have an office.
Shares an office with 4 other guys.
I'm happy to share it with
You want
roommates.
that?
Well, that's
I'm happy to share.
That's what I'm suggesting. He
Yeah.
can share the office with Sean and Tiki. And I'll come in every once, so I'll pop in.
That.
I'll get a
Evan-
massage.
Evan loves being afternoon Evan. So Evan Roberts keeps his own office. Tiki doesn't get one.
Well, you know what? I'm not really afternoon Evan because here's what happened where I gave in. I did something Craig wouldn't do. We got to take pictures for the new show.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So the idea is to take these pictures next Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have a short show because the Yankees play an afternoon game.
I'm sorry, we have a what?
We have a short show.
We have a short show. I was going to use the opportunity on a short show to not drive into New York City.
I'll be here.
And be at home. Good for you. You do what you want.
Commitment to excellence.
And I was told, no, we got to take the pictures, right after the short show. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I said no. And
You said no.
Spike gave me the guilt.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use the guilt. He's like, okay, so the guy who's leading the afternoon show can't take pictures. Okay, storms out. Didn't even let me respond. And he worked me good.
So you're going to come in next.
Because what did I do?
You're coming
I
next
came back to him and said, all right, you son of a...
Now, are you taking pictures in the building, or are you doing what we did, where we're going out with Tom Izzo's buddies and hitting New York City streets and taking pictures out
Apparently,
there?
there's going to be a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate picture day.
That is so
I
exciting.
hated picture day in high school. I hated picture day with you. I hated picture day with Joe. I hate picture day, and I'll tell you why. Because
you don't look good in pictures.
I take awful pictures.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, am I a good-looking guy? My wife thinks so. I disagree.
That's all that matters.
But when I take pictures, I become like a goblin. I become grotesque.
Yeah.
Like even the picture from yesterday.
Yeah, what were you doing in that picture?
I don't know.
You got up on your tippy toes. You try to flex out your chest.
I don't know.
And you looked high in the sky like you were Marie Antoinette.
Craig, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, what were you doing?
I am the worst picture taker in the history of
I
pictures.
told you what you have to do.
What?
And it works for me now, too.
What?
You got to go lips tight, mean face.
Lips tight, mean
don't
face?
try to smile. You got to go, and I've tried both. You go lips together, so no teeth, and you deadpan.
Craig, but that's not my issue. Isn't my smile?
And you try to look mean.
But that's not.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Okay, here's the problem. Before I continue,
Remember when I took
That's
those black
not-
and white so you looking mean?
Craig, that's not my
I'm
issue.
going to find that for you.
My issue is my man boobs. My issue.
Yeah, but they're not taking pictures of your boobs.
My
Yeah, that is not your problem.
Yeah, that ain't your
Okay, so
problem.
what's my problem?
Your problem is your face.
Yeah.
And the way you hold your face. You put as someone who has,
Problem is your face.
Yeah. As someone who has a little extra face, take
Yeah.
my word. You can't bring your head back and chin down
So what do you do?
Just first of all, a couple things. You have to put your head a little bit of a slant. You got to look down a little bit.
All right.
By the way, that's one of the great lines in the history of WFAN. Your problem is your face.
It's true.
How does this look? I'm going to pose for you.
No, oh my
No,
God.
it doesn't work.
No.
I tilted my head.
Evan, I'm going to put out a picture of you do the mean face that I took of you way back in the day, March 31st, 2021, okay?
Right.
I have a number of them. As I find them, I'll put them out, and I'll put them on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll see if people like them, okay?
There's no picture of me anyone's going to like. Trust me. I've never had anyone say, hey, you look good in that picture. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. That's the other reason why I hate picture day. Not only is it a pain in the ass, but it's just awkward standing there trying to make yourself look good. And here's the other problem.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, Craig, you're not the prettiest guy in the world.
I didn't say I was.
Joe is broken down.
Yeah.
Tiki's like a freaking male model over there with his chiseled body and his beautiful face.
You're in a bad spot. You know what you guys should do? There's an app I have called Toon Me, Toon.
Yeah.
Where we take your picture.
Yeah.
And we turn you into a cartoon.
I've
I've done that to you as well.
I'll take that.
Would you rather I put out a picture of you as a cartoon?
More so
I
than
can do
my
that for
regular
you.
pictures, yes.
I'd be happy to do that for you. No problem at all.
Thank you.
Listen,
I'll
Evan,
take that one.
on my way out, whatever I can do to make you the best version of you I can, you count me in. I'm on Team Evan.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right,
You're on Team Evan,
I'm
all right.
all in on Team Evan on that. Check your Twitter. I just put out the black and white. Of
I
you.
can't check my Twitter. I'm too busy watching the Met game.
Oh, the Mets are on. Are they on SNY?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always finding
That's why we're not going to be on TV for a while.
That's right. SNY has been a great partner of ours.
I think they called something controversial because the Mets had the bases
Ground ball to
loaded
the
and nobody
pitcher,
out.
at home.
Hold
one
on a
out.
sec. Let me
He's
explain
running
it.
in the base path. He's out.
yeah.
All right,
Can't
you're-
run in fair
dude-
territory.
All right,
He's
so
out.
you're going to explain it. Go ahead.
All right, so I guess bases loaded. I don't know who it was on the Mets.
Pete Alonso was
Alonso.
up with the bases
a
loaded.
ground ball back to the mound. Pitcher goes home. That's an obvious out, no problem. Catcher throws the ball to first, but as the ball now is going towards first base, Petey's running in fair territory.
Yep.
You're allowed to run in fair territory if the ball's not coming your way. You're not allowed to run in fair territory and block the ball from getting to the first baseman.
Right.
So that's a good call. He's out.
The throw went past the first baseman. It allowed
look,
the Mets.
he's on the infield grass.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's
okay,
pretty
I'm trying,
aggressive.
you guys, I'm trying to describe it to the audience.
Yeah,
You're
he's on
telling
the
me to
infield
look.
grass.
This guy's talking. Let me take control now.
Okay.
Quiet for 2 seconds
He's
so
on
the
grass,
audience
but he's on the
understands
grass.
what we're
He's on the-
saying.
he's on the infield grass.
We're not on TV. We're on radio. Are you new around here?
I just said he's on
Right.
the infield grass.
You said
So-
look. What are you looking at?
Evans TV is left to right on your radio dial.
What were you saying?
The bases were loaded and nobody was out.
Yeah.
Pete hit a check swing comebacker.
Yeah.
Christian Javier, remember no-hitter in the World Series, no-hitter against the Yankees, threw home for the first out.
Yeah.
The throw to first base with Alonso running on the grass
Yeah.
went past him and the first baseman, allowed a run to score, and right away they said Pete was running out of the baseline. They called him out.
Good call.
The manager of the New York Mets, Buck Showalter, politely walked out. Maybe said 5 words to the umpire, like, oh, gee golly, what'd you guys call there? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. And then sat back down. Now, I get it. Pete was running out of the baseline, but Buck just gave you a calm, let me check in with the umpires. They unfortunately got the call right. Pete was running out of the baseline, and it cost the Mets potentially a run. So from bases loaded, nobody out, to not scoring in the first inning against Christian Javier is on the table.
Yeah.
And that's the New York Mets season. The New York Mets have done everything wrong, whether it's base running, whether it's managerial moves, whether it's clutch hitting, whether it's starting pitching, whether it's bullpen work. They have pulled off something incredible. They miraculously F up at almost everything when they play baseball. And this is your latest example.
877-337-6666. Rich is in Staten Island on the fan. Rich, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Craig, Evan, how are you guys?
Doing great, thank you.
Craig, I'm sure you got 1,001 phone calls about the congrats, and I'm going to be another one of those.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you remember a few years ago, back in 2018, we were at a party, draft party, the night that Sam Darnold got drafted.
I do remember that, yes.
Yes, and I was on your right as the draft was going on and the picks were being made, and Doc was next to us as well. I just wanted to touch upon that for a quick second. You know, I listened to your speech last week about, you know, you moving on and why you're moving on, and I had no idea what was going on in your life. You only know what you read in the tabloids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also had no idea what was going on in mine either, and it was a tough time for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you made my night. I hope I made your night. And I just want to say that you're a real true example of what a second chance,
Well,
should
listen,
be.
I appreciate it very much. And to be honest with you, Evan and I talked about this, like how many of these types of calls do I really want to take? And at first I was like, I don't want it to come across as self-serving or like I'm looking for it. But I appreciate it. And more than you'll ever know, because there's a big divide between what people like you say about whatever your experience might have been with me, whether we met or didn't meet, whether it's watching us on TV, listening on the radio, or having met at an appearance, and what a lot of the, frankly, insecure, mean-spirited, jealous people in the media like to say about me, which amazingly never really is in line with the way people who've met me seem to feel about me. So I appreciate your call very much. I hope that you're in a much better place than you were back in 18 as well, and wish you the very best, and thank you for reaching out.
Yep, absolutely, Craig. Evan, wish you the best with Tiki. Guys, talk to you soon.
There you go. All right, Rich, good job on that. 877-337-6666. We'll get all your calls. I wonder, during what was a very interesting moment in that game last night, how John and Susan called what was taking place with Garrett Cole. We'll get into that a little bit.
Let me just say this real quick.
My gut is that it's not what people were watching.
The Mets suck. It is so painful
here
to
we
watch
go.
this baseball team.
They
are, I mean, they
You're not allowed to
are-
hit a ground ball with the bases loaded. It happens. And then foul out
They
the next
had
at bat.
bases loaded, nobody out,
Yeah.
with the cleanup hitter up, who check swings a comebacker into a 1-2-3 double play because he runs out of the baseline. Then they reload the bases after a walk to Tommy Pham, who sadly enough is their best hitter. I mean, let's just be honest. And then Jeff McNeil, who doesn't get ripped enough. so I'll take the time to rip him.
Yeah.
He's had an awful season.
Yeah.
He's hit the softest 272 you could find.
Come on.
What? Come on, am I wrong?
You're funny.
If you're going to dispute it, just
I mean,
argue with me
I
then.
can't talk about. I mean, if you hit 272 at the end of the year, didn't you have a pretty good year?
How many extra bases has he had?
I don't know.
What's his OPS?
I don't know.
Then there you go.
But yeah,
So he
but
has a chance
if
to
he-
make up for it,
Yeah.
and he hits this lazy pop up to third. So the New York Mets against
Yeah.
a real good pitcher
Yeah.
in Christian Javier, real good pitcher, blow a bases loaded, nobody out, and then bases loaded 2-out jam. I know I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again.
Here we go.
This game is over.
It's scoreless.
Oh, for now.
Like it's in the first inning.
For now. For now it is.
Let me guess. The rhetoric is if you don't get to him early, you're not going to get to him.
Well, against
and
a
they
lot
had a
of-
chance to get to him early, and they didn't.
Against a lot of really good pitchers, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I have no confidence that Tyler McGill's going to give you a back-to-back good start. But think about that first inning, Craig.
Yeah.
Just ponder it in your mind.
Yeah.
They're handed bases loaded, nobody out. It's handed to them.
Right.
A walk, a hit batsman, a this, that. Hand it to them. They do nothing.
Yeah.
And they make
So I just
mistakes.
want to get this right.
Mistakes.
It's 0-0 going into the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah.
And you have declared this game a wrap.
If I ask
do I have
Met
that right?
if I ask Met fans right now, is this game over? 88% or more are going to say it's done.
It's scoreless.
Loogie.
In the first
and
inning.
Loogie. And remember, he's leaving, all right? So you can actually give an opinion. Is this game over or what?
This game is over.
Thank you.
The Mets are dead.
Thank you.
Sad and
This
pathetic.
is unbelievable.
It's just sad and pathetic.
You know, that's the best two words to describe these
Yeah,
two knuckleheads.
it is.
Sad and
And I'll
pathetic.
And
tell
I
you
don't know which
something
one's
else. Just like our
sad and which
baseball
one's
team.
pathetic, but
Yeah.
that's what you guys
And
are.
I'll give you another thing that's irrational that Big Mac's going to love. Even though Pete Alonso
Yeah.
clearly was an infraction.
You have
He
to-
was at territory.
You have to show
can
anger.
the comatose manager
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
something other than politely walk out there
Yep.
and say, hey, gee golly, you having a good day today? How's the weather here in Houston? Aren't you glad there's a dome to keep us nice and cool? He just walks out there and says, so you ran out of the baseline? All right, good. I'm going to go back and sit down. Like, I get it. They got the call right. I want to make that clear.
Yes,
but every
they
once
got
in a
the call
while,
right.
He never-
can you,
yeah.
and you'll love this one, Big Mac, every once in a while, Buck, can you pull a boon?
Be
Can
nice.
you just have the veins pop out of your head and just yell and scream? For me,
I think you know the answer to that seems to be no.